Did you know that America's first whiskey distillery was in Virginia, and it produced an altogether American style of whiskey? Here's how it happened. About 20 miles down the James River from Richmond, Virginia, is Jamestown. Like the river, Jamestown was named after King James I, and if the historian William Kelso is to be believed, it's where the British Empire began. At the time, Jamestown was little more than a bug-infested swamp, with a few timber cabins and a small fort. Colonists were instructed to build on land that wasn't occupied by Indians to avoid conflict, not that it stopped local tribes from attacking. The plan was to farm the land, but being a swamp, the only thing these settlers were growing was disease and an impending sense of dread. Food provisions ran dry, many people starved to death, others resorted to eating horses, cats, rats, and mice. 10 years later, things had started to improve. Explorers like John Smith, of Pocahontas fame, had ventured further up the James River, and additional settlements were established, including one called Berkeley. In March 1620, the cleric George Thorpe arrived in Berkeley and took charge of the colony. Thorpe aimed to build relationships with local Powhatan tribes to facilitate trade. He established a university, ostensibly to educate natives about European culture, but primarily intended for Christian indoctrination. And he even built an English-style house for the Powhatan chief, Pocahontas' father. Through interactions with the native tribes, Thorpe encountered corn. While many English colonists initially dismissed corn, Thorpe recognized its potential, allocating land at Berkeley to its cultivation and developing a keen interest in its alcohol use. In a letter dated December 19, 1620, he wrote,
"We have found a way to make a so good drink of Indian corn, and I confess I have most times refused to drink a good strong English beer and chosen to drink that."
Thorpe also built a small distillery in Berkeley in 1621. There is no evidence of the still and the distillery remaining, only vague references from the time to a copper still. If these are to be believed, it's quite likely that Thorpe was the first person in North America to make a spirit, and the first to make whiskey from corn. The story doesn't end there though. By 1622, the Berkeley colony appeared to have friendly relationships with the Powhatan. They allowed their tribesmen free entry to trade and assist with tasks like milling and brewing, possibly distilling. However, the relationship was a carefully planned deception by the Powhatan chieftain. On March 22, 1622, Powhatan warriors entered Berkeley, seized weapons, and began attacking colonists. This coordinated strike, known as the Indian Massacre of 1622, resulted in 350 deaths, around a quarter of the colony's population. Thorpe, who had been in particularly close relationship with the chieftain, was among the first killed and suffered severe mutilation. The massacre effectively ended the Berkeley settlement, and along with it, America's first distillery, but it laid the foundation for the bourbon industry that thrives today.